Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And breaking news this morning, a man is dead after a shooting in Wayne County. And this is a live look at that scene. What the victim's family is telling us about what happened.
Road back open. At 1 o'clock this morning, crews say they stopped the gas leak near US 401 and 1010 Road. What still needs to be done after the break that forced evacuations and caused power outages and huge backups on the road.
And our two weather makers, windy conditions today will increase our fire danger, and we now have an increased threat for severe storms, wind damage, and isolated tornadoes. I'll walk you through that.
And U.S. tariffs on Mexico, China, and Canada take effect today. Which industries will feel the impacts the most?
Good morning, everyone. It is 6 o'clock. Great to have you with us on this Tuesday morning as we get your day started. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making us part of your routine here. The sunrise coming up behind us looks nice enough, calm enough today. Tomorrow, a different story. A lot of folks went to bed. It was a level 2 threat for severe weather. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now, level 3 here.
Yeah, our potential for severe storms definitely increased overnight. We're looking at a line of strong thunderstorms that could produce some wind damage and power outages, and we could see some isolated tornadoes that could also cause some damage. It is a quiet day today, though. We take a live look at Zebulon. Notice the flags here in front of the town hall are still right now, but it is likely to become windy this afternoon. Temperatures right now are mainly in the 30s. It's 39 in the Triangle with calm winds. But later this afternoon, we'll see some winds gusting up to 15 miles per hour, and that will increase our fire danger again today. We've had wildfires across the state for the last several days, and conditions still will not be favorable today. 32 in Roxborough and South Hill, 29 in Rocky Mount and Goldsboro, 28 in Southern Pines. So it is a chilly start. A coat will feel comfortable for you, but a big warm up. Yesterday's highs were in the 50s, and we're looking at upper 60s. We will see increasing clouds this afternoon, and there could be a sprinkle. But here comes our line of thunderstorms, and it is producing straight line winds right now and a few isolated tornadoes. Sometimes when these systems cross the mountains, they weaken a little bit, but that does not look like the case this time. So we are looking at an increased risk for wind damage with these storms and some tornadoes. We take a look here at 10 a.m. We're starting to see the rain moving in, but watch this dark red line. This is where we'll see the severe storms. Timeline for that right through the Triangle is going to be around 11:30, and then around 12 to 12:30 it moves through our eastern counties along the I-95 corridor. And then once we get into the early part of the afternoon, it starts to move on out. Taking a look at what our threats are again, straight line winds that could cause some power outages will be the biggest threat. Timeline is going to be between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m., damaging gusts and a tornado threat. And of course, we have that level 3 risk. That's new this morning, 1 out of 5. And that just means we'll have more widespread storms than it would look like with level 2. Ken?
All right, 6:03, Elizabeth. A rather quiet start to a morning commute. Really just a couple of disabled vehicles. One on the exit ramp on I-87 southbound near the Beltline, and this one near Hillsborough Street near the Beltline as well. And speaking of the Beltline, let's give you a live look at that eastern part of the Beltline, I-440 New Bern Avenue. Traffic is beginning to pick up just a bit, but flowing nicely in all directions. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Breaking news in Wayne County. A man is dead after shooting into a home. Deputies have been on the scene in the town of Dudley for 6 hours. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us live from that scene. And Laura, you spoke with the family of the man who died.
Renee, it is a devastating morning for the community here in Dudley. When we first arrived here at the scene, began gathering details, I started asking and speaking with bystanders about what happened here. That's when we ran into a small group of people who tell us they were actually in this home that is now blocked off here behind me. When the shooting took place, they tell me someone opened fire at the house a little after midnight, bullets striking and killing their grandfather who was sleeping in the bed. You can see evidence markers here scattered across the lawn. We counted dozens of those evidence markers and shell casings here in front of this home. We're on Pecan Road, that is, and Southern Drive, this intersection here. A large portion of this road is blocked off by Wayne County Sheriff deputies. They've been here since midnight, again, investigating. We're still working to get more information from the sheriff's office. I have reached out to them to get more details about exactly what happened here. Was it a drive-by? What exactly took place leading up to the shooting? shooting. That's what we don't know at this hour, but they have their mobile command unit out here, dozens of deputies here at the scene working on this investigation, trying to get those details for us. So, of course, we will update you as soon as we get more information. But again, just a tragic situation. A grandfather shot and killed early this morning while sleeping in his bed. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Dudley.
More breaking news we're following. Around 1 o'clock this morning, crews were able to get a major gas leak in southern Wake County under control. US 401 is now back open at 1010 Road. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live right there this morning. And Kelsey, this break caused some major problems for a lot of people in that area for hours last night.
Yes, Jeff, and this section of 1010 Road is now back open, but crews are still hard at work this morning. They were able to get that gas leak under control, but you may have been stuck in this traffic nightmare during rush hour yesterday. Drivers sat through standstill traffic on 401 near Garner when crews first responded to that gas leak. Stores and restaurants in the area were forced to evacuate. Crews shut down power as a safety precaution, leaving more than 2,000 customers in the dark for hours. The gas company that's working on this temporary fix for the damaged gas line says that they're doing what they can just to wrap up this temporary fix for now, but we'll keep you updated on when they're able to do a permanent replacement. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Wake County.
New this morning, President Donald Trump's tariffs on major U.S. trade partners are now in effect. The 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada kicked in just after midnight. An additional 10% tariff on Chinese imports also took effect. China and Canada were quick to retaliate. China says it'll impose additional tariffs up to 15% on some U.S. goods. Canada vowed tariffs up to 25%. And many are asking the question, what goods will be affected by these tariffs? WRAL's Michelle McConaughey is here now with the everyday items that will be going up in price.
Yeah, Jeff, we're talking higher prices at the pump, higher prices on clothing, computers, and toys, just to name a few. The auto industry will take a hit as well. The price of cars is expected to go up a couple $1,000s at least. According to the Commerce Department data, cell phones and computers were among the top imports from China last year. And these tariffs could also raise the price for those raising a glass of tequila or Canadian whiskey. The U.S. imports billions of dollars worth of it every year. And avocados from Mexico, those would go up too. Last year, the U.S. bought more than $49 billion in agricultural products from Mexico. Farm imports from Canada came to $41 billion. President Trump has declared an economic emergency in order to justify the duties. He claims the sanctions are designed to reduce the flow of undocumented migrants and illicit drugs across the U.S. border.
Michelle, one thing to keep in mind, you were talking about some of the companies that will likely see the effects of this tariff. Let's take a look real quick. Auto parts, I really want to talk about that just because we know the ports that are here in North Carolina, they receive some of these cars, right? So the companies over to the left here, BMW, Ford, Honda, just to name a few of this list, these are the ones that are going to likely see the effect from the tariffs. And over to the right, we have the U.S. futures, how the investors are reacting in the overnight hours. S&P down $3.50, Dow Jones down 7 points, I should say, not dollars and cents, and NASDAQ down 6. And one other thing I want to illustrate here, I'm going to just step forward here to show you. So keep in mind that with these cars, some of the pieces are made in the United States. And then after they're exported, they are received to these countries, right? To Canada, Mexico. But then they're put together in the vehicles and then shipped back to the United States. So you think about this part of it, and then you add on the 25% tariff, and these companies and the consumers likely will see that effect.
Chris, thank you. Windy, dry conditions are sparking more fires across the Carolinas. Thousands of acres have burned from our mountains all the way to the South Carolina coast. The fire near Myrtle Beach has grown to more than 2,000 acres. It's about 30% contained. Sky 5 flew over this fire in Cumberland County yesterday. It may have been caused by someone cooking outdoors. The North Carolina Forest Service is reminding people to obey all burn bans. It says more than 800 fires have been caused by people in the last week. 3,300 acres have burned across North Carolina.
Today, Raleigh City Council will get an update on a project to expand the convention center. Council members will be voting on allocating more than $3 million to get construction started. These are the renderings that show what the convention center may look like when it's finished. The city is expected to pick a final design soon. In total, the project is expected to cost $387 million. City Council meets at 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Tonight at the U.S. Capitol, where you're looking live right now, President Donald Trump will address a joint session of Congress for the first time in his second term. He's expected to lay out his legislative goals for the rest of the term. Trump is also expected to highlight what his administration has accomplished so far, and that includes enacting a flurry of tariffs and firing thousands of federal workers. Democratic Senator Elisa Slotkin of Michigan will deliver her party's rebuttal to Trump's speech. And you can watch the president's joint address to Congress live on WRAL. NBC News will have special coverage that starts at 9 tonight. It is 6:10 now on your Tuesday morning. Road reopens. The safety precautions still in place on I-40 in western North Carolina as traffic resumes near the Tennessee line for the first time since Helene.
Mardi Gras might be mangled by weather. How that storm system that's heading our way is already changing party plans in New Orleans.
And we can take a look at where that system is right now. They're going to be seeing severe weather there today for Mardi Gras. We see this band moving in here tomorrow. Go over the timeline. What's new this morning is our threat for severe storms has increased. I'll explain coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:14, and it's going to be a warm day today. Now, we are starting off cold this morning. Temperatures upper 20s to low 30s, so a jacket, a coat will feel good. But look at this. We're going to climb to nearly 70 in Fayetteville and Clinton, upper 60s around the Triangle, mid 60s up in our northern counties. But of course, we are tracking severe storms for tomorrow, and our threat for severe weather has increased. We'll likely see a lot of straight line wind, which could cause damage, power outages. We may have some isolated tornadoes as well. Let's talk about what our threats are. It's highest for wind, so that wind damage will be our biggest threat. And then we have a medium threat for some power outages as well as hail. It's a low tornado threat, but it doesn't mean that we wouldn't see any. A few isolated tornadoes are a possibility. And of course, we're looking at that threat mainly midday. Ken?
Happening right now, Elizabeth, let's stay outside, give our viewers a look at what's happening on I-40 and Carytown Boulevard. Traffic, of course, picking up just a little bit. You expect that this time of the morning, but flowing nicely in both directions. Similarly, all our major routes from Wendell, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, all delay-free at this hour. And coming up, Jeff, in less than 5 minutes, I'll check those major routes to see if there are any delays brewing.
All right, thanks, Ken. We'll stay tuned for that. Tonight, Wake County School Board will consider writing a letter in support of Attorney General Jeff Jackson's investigation into Power School. A cybersecurity breach in December exposed more than 300,000 current and former North Carolina teachers' social security numbers. The letter says the board also supports any legal action that Jackson might take against the company. Power School has been notifying teachers and families of the breach and offering 2 years of credit monitoring from Experian.
A judge is deciding if a lawsuit can move forward regarding the Hedingham mass shooting in Raleigh. Families of the victims and survivors are suing the Capitol Special Police, the HOA, the accused gunman, and his parents. Capitol Police and the HOA want the cases dismissed. The plaintiffs say the parties did not keep neighbors safe during the October shooting in 2022. The security company says the shootings were premeditated, which is out of their scope of service.
For the first time since September, you can now drive to Tennessee on I-40. The interstate through the Pigeon River Gorge had been shut down since Helene washed away entire traffic lanes there. One lane is now back open in each direction. Those lanes are narrower than before, and the top speed is 35 miles per hour.
WRAL is helping to ensure everyone has equal access to justice. This Friday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., 5 on Your Side will host Lawyers on Call. That's a call-in event anyone can use to talk to a lawyer for free. And when phone lines open, you can call the number on your screen to get your legal questions answered by an attorney licensed in North Carolina.
Severe weather and high winds is forcing changes to today's Mardi Gras celebrations in New Orleans. City officials there have made some adjustments to today's parade plans for safety reasons. Officials say marching crews and truck floats will not be permitted. All parades have to clear the streets by 11:30 this morning. There's a major disruption to Fat Tuesday events there, and it's coming our way. Same system. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with tomorrow's arrival.
We should expect a major disruption in the morning hours as well tomorrow. Ahead of that system this morning, skies are mainly clear. Take a look here at Raleigh. You can see just a few clouds. As we get through the day, we'll see increasing cloud cover in our southern counties. There could be an isolated shower, but it's a calm morning. Temperatures are chilly, upper 20s to low 30s. Fayetteville, Apex, Chapel Hill, though, all looking quiet this morning. Chapel Hill's courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. The newest information for us this morning, the Storm Prediction Center overnight put us under a level 3 risk for severe storms. And the way they rank those is 1 through 5, with 3 being a medium risk. Because we moved from level 2 to level 3, it means that we have an increased chance of wind damage. That means more of us are likely to see wind damage. This is going to be a line of thunderstorms coming through that affects the entire area. And we have a good chance of seeing power outages, trees falling, and that sort of damage. Here's a look at where it is right now. The red shaded area is where we have a tornado watch. We've had a few tornado warnings popping up there in red, and the yellow boxes that are popping up are severe thunderstorm warnings. A lot more severe thunderstorm warnings than tornado warnings, and this is exactly what we can expect to see here. Straight line winds can do as much damage as tornadoes, especially low end tornadoes. So this will be a dangerous situation for us, and this system is headed, of course, for New Orleans as well. I will talk about the timeline for this. Let's jump on out and talk about this. Expect late morning to early afternoon. It's when we see the system rolling through. We'll definitely have enough energy for this to be a dangerous storm. Straight line winds, the greatest threat, but tornadoes are possible as well. All right, how about the timeline? This is going to be more of a morning to midday type of event, which is a little earlier than we often see. You can see how the rain starts to move in during the end of the morning commute, but watch this dark red line. This is where the severe storms will be. By 11:30, we're seeing that right through the middle of the viewing area from Fayetteville to Raleigh up toward Virginia. And then about 12:30, Rocky Mount, Goldsboro, Clinton. And then after that, around 1 or 2, it moves eastward. Now, it could be a little faster or a little slower by an hour or so, but certainly that lets you know about what time to expect this. And again, it is a little earlier than we often see. We take a look at the storm timeline. Again, in yellow, this is going to be 8 to 10. They're in orange, 10 to 12. And of course, we do have that increased potential for straight line winds and isolated tornadoes. What we'll see tomorrow is watches and warnings posted across our area. Meteorologist Chris Michaels here to talk about the difference of what you need to do when one of these is issued.
And it's pretty much a guarantee, right, that we're going to see watches and warnings. A watch means conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorms hours ahead of time. A warning means that a thunderstorm is or will likely produce some severe weather. Now, not making light of this, but this may actually help you kind of visualize what we're talking about. A watch is when you have the ingredients. A warning is when it all comes together. So those are some of the questions we get ahead of severe weather. So we kind of think of it like a cookie there. But there's plenty of other questions we're answering right now. That's on the homepage of WRAL.com if you just search Q&A. Elizabeth?
It's a really good way to explain it. You know, watch and warning, they both start with W. They sound similar. So thanks for that explanation. Gusty winds for tomorrow. We'll see winds gusting 45 to 55 miles per hour. So, of course, we're looking at the potential for some damage there. 70 on Wednesday. Behind the system, we're nice and quiet through the end of the week. Now, today, with some breezy conditions, we have the chance for high fire danger. We'll go over that coming up. Ken?
All right, at 6:21, Elizabeth, a rather quiet and uneventful start to your morning commute as we take a live look at I-440 and New Bern Avenue. Traffic is beginning to pick up just a little bit. And to that end, being so quiet, we're seeing very little to no delays on any of the major routes heading into the capital city. How about the Bull City? Let's check that. Again, very little to no delays. All the major routes are delay-free right now. You're getting ready to head out the door. You can take us with you, the entire morning team. 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thanks. A possible human trafficking ring.
We don't know if we have anyone else involved or if could be a larger group.
What we learned about the additional crimes 2 men accused of kidnapping a girl from Siler City are linked to.
And a school data breach. Wake County Schools leaders are planning to respond after sensitive information about teachers and students was compromised.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
On senior night at Duke, the Cameron Crazies made a plea to their freshman star.
Ken Smith here now with what's trending on our Tuesday. Ken.
Yeah, the Cameron Crazies made it clear to Cooper Flagg they want him to stick around. Take a listen.
OB. Not too shabby. One more year, they're chanting.
One more year. Well, the freshman sensation is likely to be the #1 pick in the NBA draft if he chooses to go pro.
Yeah, likely. He's likely to be the ACC Freshman of the Year, the ACC Player of the Year, the Wooden National Player of the Year, and likely not one more year.
Yeah.
Likely to be one and done.
He's been lighting it up this season. So how about this? Tens of thousands of people around the world watching this live stream right now. We're talking about two bald eagles in Big Bear Valley, California. A bonded pair of eagles who are their parents are taking turns watching over these little ones.
Yeah, the parents, Jackie and Shadow, and one of the eggs is in the process of hatching. Look at it. We see a glimpse of the little baby eagle in there. So 3 eggs in that nest, and 2 are in the process of hatching. It takes about 1 to 3 days to come out of its shell. Oh, wait.
That's happening overnight. One of them hatched, and there's another one. Looks like it's about ready to go. This is just a couple hours ago in the overnight hours.
Fascinating.
So cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so exciting. Congratulations to Jackie and Shadow.
Just protecting the little ones now. So cool. Thanks, Ken. Duke legend Grant Hill will be speaking at the university's commencement this year. Yeah, the 2018 Basketball Hall of Fame inductee will address the graduates at this year's May 11th ceremony. Hill graduated from Duke in 1994 with a double major in history and political science.
Don't forget, the road to the Stanley Cup playoffs is coming right through your living room, live on WRAL. Watch the Canes battle it out against Boston Bruins, who are fighting for a playoff spot in the East. You can watch the game Thursday at 7 p.m. right here on WRAL.
Staying on top of breaking news for you this morning out of Wayne County. A man is dead after someone shot into a home. This is a live look at that scene. We'll tell you what the victim's family is sharing with us about what happened.
And it's a chilly start this morning with a warm afternoon and increasing clouds ahead of this system that's producing severe weather across parts of the west. I'll show you when you could see severe storms and what they'll bring to us coming up.
New tariffs on goods from Canada, Mexico, and China went into effect at midnight. The industries that will feel it the most and where you'll see the biggest price increases at the store.